Alright, so we also have the virtual machine called Funbox. We can take a look at. It's still pretty early. Maybe we can root 2 boxes tonight. And I will definitely clip these VODs, including all of my fun networking and PHP issues, and I'll probably attach them to a blog post since I'm behind a couple weeks as it is anyway. So this was the second one I downloaded and did not read anything about. I also need to grab my proper command outputs for the... So that was the Aruba. I don't need that. What I need is this one. All right. Alright, so Funbox looks to be up as well. Let's take a look at that one. I did not look at what its IP address was, or its MAC address. F6FCA. Alright, so here we go. We're actually going to grab not the Aruba device this time, so we're looking at 5.133. So we will run another port scan of this host, see what's listening, and see what our best first avenues of attack will be. Just type in somewhere else. Alright, so what is listening on this box? So FTP, SSH, and Apache. So likely, especially based on this version, our initial point of entry will either be the FTP server or the web server. So let's grab this for our notes and open up our web browser. Hey Kiranj, thanks for the follow. We are looking at our second vulnerable VM of the night. We did Photographer from VulnHub, and now we're looking at Funbox. Oh, it actually does do the redirect. There is also a /secret directory. So in the robots.txt, what? Oh, ha. That was just nmaps output. So there is a robots.txt file which is used by web servers to try and prevent some web spiders from hitting certain directories. Although most of them don't really listen anymore, so I know Google will still go to secret even though it's technically not supposed to, but let's see what's... Alright, well, it says there's no secrets here, and someone also took their OCP and wants to be funny guy. Let's see if they're lying to us. No, nothing there yet. So, we will use another tool that we have not used yet called Derby. So what this will do is, and hopefully it just uses a default word list, this application will put / and then a lot of common words to see if there's anything useful or interesting that we might find. So it's going to use this common wordless file and just start guessing all of these directories, see if there's anything that might interest us. So there's an XML rpc.php, which indicates there might be some WordPress or something. Yep. So it looks like there may actually be a WordPress site running here. And everything wants to redirect us to this domain, so we may need to add it to our host. So everything on this box is trying to redirect to this funbox.fritz.box. So what we'll do is add this IP as a host. So now any requests that we send to funbox.fritz.box will actually go to the correct host. We don't have to resolve it. So now we should, why do we have to close? Do we have to reload our file? Should just take it. We may not need to reload our host file. Okay, so it is correct. So we may need to just close Firefox so it reloads the host file for us. Okay, so now we're actually able to see the WordPress, and anything that was redirecting to here we will be able to see. So let's go back to the home page as well. Okay, so looks like a WordPress blog. Nothing really set up. All right, this. Oh, why can't I see it? There you go. So this box is payback for all their CTF makers and publishers. It's a real life virtual machine. There are at least 2 fast ways to get in. Root takes longer. Alright, so let's see what we can do with this. So we will also use a tool called WP Scan, which should be installed, and this will run a lot of common it'll download, or it'll check a lot of the WordPress files on the site, see if any of them are known vulnerable. It will try some username enumeration, see if we can get some common usernames. You can update. What? Alright, that's fine. We won't update. You cannot run a scan without any databases. Why are you like this? Oh. We should have our networking set up. Why are you like this? Why are we getting a 403 on WP Scan? Alright, we'll look at this in a second. So another thing we can also look at while we're here is that FTP that was open. See if we have any. What? Is the FTP command not installed? This is fine. So we can also take a look at that FTP port, see if there's anonymous access allowed, see if maybe there's some readable files we might want to use to attack the box, or even if it's vulnerable itself. On that note, we will go back to the WP Scan and see why it's acting up. Really? I'm trying to download your tool to do attacks. appears to have lost our mouse again. There we go. So this may allow us to update it. What? Missing user region. Just allow us to update. I would like to run. Did FTP finish downloading at least? Which? Okay. The fantasy football streams. Man, I'm still not 100% in this season. I will have to see. Coronavirus has me assuming that there won't actually be fantasy football, even though my friends are convinced we'll play. I need to actually get the league set up. So let's see if we have any anonymous FTP. We do. Oh, no, we don't. Alright, so no anonymous FTP at the very least. That's unfortunate. So it looks like actually WP Scan was deprecated, which was the problem. Okay, so that's why it didn't work. So you actually need to download an API key for WordPress Scan, which is why. What was the other one I've used before? Yeah, I do miss fantasy football, but I need to believe that sports will actually come back. I don't want to sign up for an API key just for WordPress Scan. What's the other CMS scanner? There's one that'll check all CMSs that we can just use. CMS map, that's what I'm looking for. So we will use CMS map just to poke at it, see if there's anything interesting. And we will point it at our Funbox. So this will map any CMSs similar. What? Oh, duh. I need to install it. Yeah, I do miss the league. I'm rewatching a lot of it with my girlfriend at the moment. I think we're in season 4 or so. Apparently all of the prerequisites didn't come with this. Okay, so what other ports do we have? Oh, it's just the FTP. So the FTP did not allow for anonymous access. So we're going to need to find some other potential usernames. Let's see if we can see any usernames from blog posts. And we can also do some manual WordPress enumeration if we don't find a one of our tools to work. No, she's never seen it before, so she's enjoying it. It's definitely not her favorite show, but she likes it. She thinks they're the worst people, but we're watching some shows with worse, or we were watching some shows with worse people, so I think she's changed her mind on that one. Oh, I'm Googling. So So we can also look at, there's a manual WordPress username enumeration. I just need to remember what URLs I want to see. Okay, this is the URL I want. So what we can do is we grab this and we go back to our... So this will let us see any posts by author number 1. So it should be hello world. So this user is actually admin, but we can also see if there are any posts by any other users. I'm guessing not. Yep. So definitely a common WordPress enumeration vector. So looks like admin is our only user for the WordPress account, or the WordPress site. So based on what I know about WordPress, so the end goal of this exercise is to get access to this Funbox, and I believe that, let's actually see what it says. I'm guessing there is a flag file we want to grab. Yep, so there's a root flag file that we want to grab. So we need to get access to this box and escalate our privileges to root and steal that file off the box. Oops, I want WordPress login. Okay. So admin is a username. So let's try some common passwords just to see if we can get lucky. So admin. Alright, at least that's not correct. Also, it looks like... So this version of WordPress is actually vulnerable to username enumeration as well, which was something I was talking about for the last host. So you see, if we type the username admin, which we know is valid, and any password, which we type password, it says the password you entered for incorrect. But if we type this is a fake user, we actually get a different error message that says unknown username. So when you're making your web applications, you really don't want this to happen. You want to give the same error message for both valid and invalid users, because you're just giving away information to potential attackers that you don't need to. Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly common mistake. I've seen it a lot. Did CMS map finish installing? Can we run this yet as well? See if there's anything vulnerable. What? We just installed... Oh. URL parse. Yeah, I mean, it's a word username enumeration in web applications is fairly common. And it's something that will usually get caught pretty quickly. Alright, so we can also try to not manually test some passwords, but there may also be more usernames, so the usernames aren't always... Actually, we got a different error for 2, didn't we? So 2 said nothing found. So there actually likely is a user author 2. Oh, there it is. Ha! I did not understand how this version of WordPress works. So actually, look in the URL bar. We see Joe Miller. So the reason we get this page is whoever Joe Miller is, he doesn't actually have a, he hasn't made any blog posts yet on this WordPress site. So let me grab some screenshots for WordPress first while I remember. So there is 2 users we are aware of. So there's admin and Joe Miller. We need to figure out Joe Miller's username, though. Oops. So I'm just grabbing screenshots here. So admin, we can see it actually says author gets admin. But what we can do, since we have that username enumeration we're aware of, we can try and guess some stuff for Joe. If we can get control of our mouse back. Yeah, I mean, inherited apps are always usually an even bigger issue than ones your team makes themselves. So, take a screenshot of this for user admin or username. Okay, so Let's try Jojo. Okay, so that actually is the username at the very least. So we now know the usernames are Joe and the passwords are Joe. Let's just try and brute force some passwords. I don't want to guess everything, and yeah, CMS map is acting up. So what we will do is, so we know our users are admin and Joe. So we'll put them in a file. And I'm just getting some word lists ready. And while we're Googling for that, we are going to use a tool called Hydra to guess these passwords for us. And we're going to see if someone else has the flags already set up for me, so I don't have to remember how to format Hydra commands, because I always forget. So Hydra is a tool that will take a list of usernames and a list of passwords and try and basically guess them for you so you don't have to manually type them in like we were doing. So we have this users.txt file, and now we have this file called rockyou.txt, which is a very popular and common password list from a data breach. Oh man, I can't remember what year Rocky was, but a lot of very common passwords ended up in it, and it is... So there are 1.4 million fairly... Nope, 14 million? Yeah, 14 million fairly common passwords in this list. So once we find this command, what we're going to do is try that username admin with all 14 million of these passwords, and the username Joe with all 14 million of these passwords. Now WordPress can be set to lock out accounts. I'm guessing this one isn't, based on what we've seen so far. We can test just to make sure. I'm guessing that there's no limit for how many failed logins we can do, especially because this is an older version. Yeah, so we should not... A lot of applications will prevent you from doing this by locking you out, but it looks like this one isn't going to. And I think this is what I want right here. Yep, this is the... Perfect. So, I'll put this here for anyone also wanting to read it since it's not super zoomed in. Very rarely. Usually WordPress will use a local MySQL database as the most common. I think you can hook it into Active Directory, but it requires some more extra work. So this is the command we want. So we're going to grab this. And we're going to modify it. So our list is in this -L is the file of usernames. So a lowercase l is the actual user name. A capital L is a file. Our password file, same thing, capital versus lowercase, is going to be user share word list rockyou. And we need to use our funbox, which is funbox.fritz.box. And it is just /WordPress login.php. So we want to make a post request, so v is the type of request. We want to post to WordPress login, and the default WordPress settings are correct. So log equals user, which it's going to grab from here, and password equals pass, which it'll grab from here, and then it'll submit it. And we copied the $, so that does not work. So assuming that this version of WordPress is the same as this blog post, we should be good. So it will take a little while. So as you can see, right now it's trying admin and monkey, admin and Anthony, admin and foul word, admin and hello, and so on. So it will take a little while. It's going to send 28 million requests. And it's on 192. We may want to speed this up a little bit. Is there a way? There may be a way to set how many threads it uses. gonna close this. We're not gonna deal with CMS map. Where'd that go? Oh, actually, awesome. So we're done. So hopefully, if this is correct, the username Joe has the password 12345. So it did all of that guessing for us very quickly. We'll just grab this part of it. We don't need the whole command. So now we will try Joe and 12345 and hopefully get access. Oh, 12345 to the WordPress admin console. Boom. So we're in WordPress. Oh my goodness, the shortcut. All right, so we are logged in as Joe Miller in the WordPress. So now we want to go from here. So we don't want to update anything. Are there any posts that are interesting? Actually, so a common escalation method for WordPress is if you have admin access, you can either upload a malicious WordPress plugin and use that to escalate to a system command, or you can basically enable PHP on a post and make a PHP web shell like we did on that last one. Although, I hate this stupid pop-out menu. Come out. It actually looks like we're not a WordPress admin. We're just someone who can post. So that's not super useful for us. But if I'm not mistaken, if we go back to our very initial port scan, I have an idea. So we had SSH open. So I wonder if the Joe user reused his password on both WordPress and SSH. Funbox so my commands don't look weird. So let's see if Joe made a no-no. So we're gonna try the same password. 12345. Maybe not. It's a fairly common thing. People. Oh nope. Oh Joe. Don't reuse your passwords. That's the lesson to learn from this box so far. Last box we learned not to email plain text passwords. Now we learned not to reuse the same password across multiple systems. So now we are the Joe user, so let's see what we can do as him. Ooh. Yep, poor Joe. So now we want to again go from the Joe user to the root user and try and grab the flag. Joe has done a lot of commands. What is Rbash? So I may need to worry about this in a little bit. That's a weird error. I don't know. We may not be in a real shell, or we may be in some janky shell. So he's got a mail file. So there's also a user called Funny. So maybe we need to become the Funny user to become root. So here's that Funny user. They do have a home Funny directory. There's Joe, Funny. These are all pretty basic users. So it looks like Joe, Funny, and root are our main users on this box. So let's see if there's anything interesting in Funny. What? Okay, so it is some sort of weird shell thing. So let's Google how to escape this restricted shell. We're not familiar with it off the top of our heads, but we are stuck in something called Rbash. I'm guessing R stands for restricted. So presumably there's some sort of protection on this server that prevents users from executing commands that they're not supposed to. Okay, so we may be able to use this bash no profile command, so let's try that. Sweet. So, Google is your friend. Rbash seems fairly easy to escape. I'll include a link to this if people want to try the other escape methods, but we now have a real shell, and we are in Home Funny. So let's see if there's anything interesting here. So the funny user does have sudo privileges, and there is an old shell script file. Joe the hit backup.sh backs up the entire web space on and on. Ted the new admin tests it in the log run. Okay. So there's a hidden backup.sh file. Hey, thanks for the follow, man. Alright, so backup.sh tars var www.html and puts it in home funny HTML. I'm guessing we don't have privileges to read var www. Okay, so... Oh, there's a secret directory. Oh, we already saw that secret directory. Let's see if there's anything there. Just to see if it was telling us the truth about there being no secrets. Yep, okay. Was not a lie. So we actually have privileges to read everything. I wonder if there is anything different in this old html.tar. So let's open up this HTML. What? Oh, because we don't have privileges to this. Take it over to our home directory. And extract it. Oh, let me grab the command output from funnies. Ha! Oh, what's up, Dave? He does rule. Alright, grab this command output for our blog. Alright, so let's see what's in this var. So this is a backup of the old website. It looks fairly similar, so what we will do is we will try and remember how to diff entire directories to make our lives easier. So we want to compare all of the files that exist currently with all of the files that are in this backup. So this will show us any differences between what? There's no differences. I did that correct, right? Yeah. Okay, so this backup is exactly what exists in the current website, so not too useful. So I wonder if Ted is actually our root user and he's running this backup.sh file. So this file is world writable. So maybe if we edit this backup.sh file, Ted will execute it. And I'm guessing that Ted is actually a script. What? Let's see if any of the cron jobs are calling this backup file. Does not look like it. I'm guessing that there's something automatically running this backup script as root or some sort of admin, and if we're able to overwrite it, we could use it to escalate our privileges. maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy. That's how I would do it if I was an admin. I would automatically have a backup script running. But I don't see a reference to backup anywhere. Not weekly, monthly. Also, it would likely not be weekly, monthly, or hourly, since we do need to escalate our privileges. It would likely be in this file, if it was set up to be a cron job. Let's just try and overwrite the script. Maybe something else is running it. So let's just add, oh, let's not break it. Let's so this command will just touch a file called temp test12345 whenever this executes. And let's let that sit for a second to see if anything happens. So if there is some sort of admin user running that script, it will touch that temp file and we should be able to see who creates it. In my free time, it's usually a lot of pop music for the most part. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy some older rap. I actually missed out on a Wu-Tang concert with a few people that are in chat now, which I'm disappointed about. Huge Kanye fan, even if he is legitimately insane nowadays. Hey! Okay, look, so that test12345 file was created as this funny user. So that means someone is running that script either automatically or manually. And I may have looked at a wrong, whatchamacallit, a wrong cron script. There may be another cron script running somewhere, or there may be some sort of automatic script, but that said, it is running and it is being created. So what that means is we can modify this funny.sh or backup.sh script and have any command we want executed as this funny user. So, oops. So we will grab a quick reverse shell with Python. We do. So we're going to grab that same command we used before, same IP and everything, make our lives super easy. Oh my goodness, exit. All right. So that same Python command we used on the photography box, it will send a reverse shell to our attacker box, and we will hopefully have some command access as this funny user. I don't know how the script runs. We may need to do something else. Some Wu-Tang. Have any of you guys watched the Wu-Tang docu-series on Hulu? It looks pretty awesome, and I really want to watch it. Like Wu-Tang: An American Tale or whatever it is. Hey! Alright, awesome. So, we got a reverse shell, so we are likely the funny user now. Have you? Yeah, I really want to give it a watch. It looks pretty awesome. How did it end out? Alright, so we should be the funny user now. Awesome. So, we have access to funny. Now, if I'm not mistaken, before we saw that funny had sudo privileges. So, the sudo command will let you execute... it's meh, that's too bad. It will let you... Yeah, I love some Python reverse shells. So, the sudo command will let you execute... Hey! Welcome, Thrill House group in the house. Now, this is a CTF team. Alright, so if we look at sudo l, it'll list any commands that we can execute as different users, usually root. So first we need a real TTY. That may or may not have worked. Oh no, we need passwords. That's annoying. Is the password funny? That would be funny. Nope. Alright. That's fine. We don't know the password yet. Okay. So, we need to escalate as root, but we don't know funny's password. Man, I would love to see an American Tail with Fievel wrapping. Alright. That is quite obnoxious to read. There we go. So I was hoping it would be a root user running that backup.sh file, but it may not be. That's not So does funny have any? Okay, so funny is escalating or is executing home funny backup.sh every 2 minutes. Is that what that means? I think every 2 minutes. So can we get funny's password? Can we look at Joe's mailbox? What? Oh, let's log in as Joe. So we know Joe's password is 12345. Oh man, root knows Joe's password is 12345. It's a recommendation to fire you, man. This company is pretty intense. Nothing else super interesting. We already know Joe's password. Those are from someone else who did not clear their... So it looks like whoever was testing this box actually has all of their... Hey! Alright, so I said this earlier. Sometimes in bash history files, you will see plain text passwords. So there's a chance that this is a password. Definitely not the first time I've seen it. Let's grab this for a post, but there's a good chance that it's not funny at all is actually the root password. Although it also looks like root is also executing this backup script. I'm not sure if it's executed by funny and root sometimes, but let's see if we can use this password for root. So, it's not really funny at all. Just thinking about it. Oh man, it is not funny. That is no longer the root password as far as I can tell. Although it really looks like it should be. Did we get tricked by something? Let's keep this open again, just in case it is run by root occasionally. Wonder if this is the funny password. It's not, or it's really not funny at all. Could be the funny password. That would make more sense. What? This is a password for someone. Don't lie to me, box. Alright, so unless the root user also executes that script, we're gonna need to either A, use this password, or B, find another way to root. So let's see if there are any suid binaries on this box like we did with the last one. I'll grab my command so I don't have to do it again. Oh man, I did not grab it from the last box anyway, so we need to do that. We may have lost all of our...
Allow me to show you something.
Where are we? What? Where are we saving those logs to? Home. Okay. That is not quite what I wanted. Why is our log file incepting itself? I may have copied that command wrong from Lopi. Oh, the event is live? Oh man, I forgot my daily. I think I forgot my dailies. I don't know. So are we still? Okay, we're still the funny user. Yeah, so I mean if we execute it, it'll just send the reverse shell back to us. Let's grab this. Oh god, that's why it's incepting. It's logging my it's logging itself because it's outputting the console. Oh, that was a terrible idea. Okay. So, it looks like that script is actually being run by multiple users. So that was the issue. So the funny user runs that script, but the root server also runs that script as well. So as you see, we called it a reverse shell, but we were funny, and I just reran it just to be safe, and it actually came back as the root user. So, I wonder if the root user... Okay, so every 2 minutes, the funny user is running the backup script, but every 5 minutes, the root user is running that backup script. So, we actually just had to grab it as the root user. That's obnoxious. So, if you would really want to set up something more persistent for an attack like this, because if you just caught your reverse shell once, you would end up grabbing the funny user. So we are the root user.
This is the end of side 1 of this record.
So let's grab our flag.txt. So awesome, we made it. Let's see if there's anything else interesting to grab off of this box. Anything fun in the mailbox? That's not us, just an error in that script. I don't know what this directory. Yeah, there's nothing there. So yeah, we managed to root this box as well. That was a really weird issue. Let's also try and... I am really curious if any of these passwords... So yeah, the root and the funny password look to have been changed. I don't know if that it's not funny at all password is for something else or what.
What do you know about all the filth
But
going
that's
on
about
here,
all
huh?
I can find on this box. Yeah, so we rooted it. It was annoying with the different shell scripts running, but we got it. So initial access to this box was obtained by WordPress username enumeration. We figured out Joe was a user. We used Hydra to brute force the root and admin users. Found out Joe's password was 12345. He reused that on SSH, and there is a world writable backup script being run by multiple users, including the root user. So that is the second box of the night. Awesome. And one day I can turn this into 2 blog posts, assuming that my notes don't suck and I can sit down and type them out. I don't actually have any other vulnerable VMs. Did anyone want to see anything else, or just ask generic security questions? If not, I may cut it off pretty soon. We did 2 VulnHub VMs, knocked them out pretty quickly. 2.5 hours for 2 VMs and a ton of networking issues. Oh, that's what I need. I need to exit to stop the script logging from happening.